Today I'm going to talk to you all about the Instagram challenge, Sew April Blouse 2025. I am going to tell you a little bit about the challenge. Then I'm going to show you 4 of my favorite ever blouse makes. And then I'm going to talk you through my plans for my entry into this year's Instagram challenge, Sew April Blouse 2025. Thank you so much for being here today. This is So Much Sewing and my name is Catherine. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back to see me again today. And if you are brand new here, welcome. I hope you'll stick around. I hope you'll like the blouses that I have to show you and my ideas for my entry into this year's challenge. Sew April Blouse has been around for about 5 years now. There are loads and loads of prizes. There are loads and loads of sponsors who are providing discount codes for this challenge. So I do suggest you pop on to the Sew April Blouse 2025 hashtag on Instagram. Also have a look at Gabrielle from Cloth Edit's Instagram page, as well as Tamlin from Sewn on the Tyne. There you will find all the information you need on how to enter this challenge, on how to determine what is a blouse and what is a shirt, and all sorts of other information, loads and loads of inspiration. So go and have a look on all those pages, and hopefully you're going to get inspired and you will want to jump on board. So I'm going to talk you through 4 of my favorite ever blouse makes, and then I'm going to tell you about the blouse that I think I'm going to make to enter this challenge. The first blouse I'll talk to you about is the one I'm wearing. This is a Jolie Lab poppy blouse, and I made this, I don't think I entered the first year, but perhaps the second year, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm pretty sure this was an entrant into the Sew April Blouse Challenge one year. This is a Lise Taylor fabric. It is a really gorgeous viscose. It's actually really good because April is autumn time in New Zealand, where I know it's spring in other parts of the world, and a blouse pattern is, you know, great for springtime, but it's also really good for autumn. And this here is a quite a heavyweight viscose, so it's, you know, quite sort of appropriate for autumn weather. It's got these beautiful buttons on the front that I got from the Dahlia Society. These are, hopefully the sparkle will be coming out on the camera. They are all down the front and they are all down the back. This pattern actually talks about putting the button placket either on the front or on the back, but I thought, what the hey, I'm going to do it on both. So I've got a million buttons. The buttons for this project almost cost as much as the fabric, but I just love it, and I love this gathered detail here. It was, you know, quite an easy pattern to sew, and I love it. I have worn it and worn it and worn it, and I actually need to make another one of these. The second blouse to show you is this one here. This is actually a mashup between the Merchant & Mills Florence top, and it's got the sleeves from the Be Mine balloon sleeve blouse from Pattern Emporium. This fabric I got from the Dahlia Society, one of her bespoke boxes, quite a long time ago. It had to have been 2 years ago or so. This is called Party Spot. I can't remember the name of the designer. I want to say Rachel something, but I can't really recall, sorry. I actually got inspired to make this because Ruan from the Yorkshire Sew Girl had this exact same fabric, although hers was on a cream base. She did make the short sleeves, and in her vlog she said, because normally Merchant & Mills patterns are designed for sort of more structured fabrics like linen or cotton drills, that sort of thing. But she said she had a hankering to try it in a soft floaty rayon. So she made up her version. I absolutely loved it, and then I got inspired to make this version, but I wanted a puffy sleeve on it. I wanted a statement sleeve, so I took the Be Mine balloon sleeve blouse sleeve and popped it on there. And I've got these beautiful blue buttons on the back, and I have worn and worn and worn this blouse, and it is absolutely genuinely one of my favorites, as is this one. This is another absolute all-time favorite of mine. This is the Alton blouse by Cashmerette. And so this blouse isn't available to everybody because it's part of their club. There's 3 pleats here, and there's another pleat here. It has an elasticated band and this bias-bound neckline. This is a wool gauze. It might be a cotton wool gauze, or it could just be a wool gauze. I'm sorry, I can't quite recall because it was a long time I made this. But I have worn this and worn this and worn this. It is so great because it's wool. It's got great thermal and insulating properties. When it's a little bit warmer, I wear it on its own. I don't know if you can see, but it is quite a fine, gauzy. Yeah, you probably can't see how fine that is. So I do wear it on its own when it's a little bit warmer, and when it's a bit cooler, I wear a t-shirt underneath it. And so this actually takes me through a lot of the year. I love this fabric so much. I love this pattern so much. I would really highly recommend the Alton blouse. Yeah, Cashmerette patterns are, they've got great instructions, and they are designed for curvier busts, curvier women. This is a mashup of the Trend Patterns Pussy Bow shirt, I think they call it, and the Sew Over It Pussy Bow blouse. So it's a blurt. It's a cross between a blouse and a shirt, so it's a blurt. But I think this is, clearly a blouse. It's very soft and drapey. If you look at the descriptions that Gabrielle and Tamlin are posting about the difference between a shirt and a blouse, I think we can see that this is definitely a blouse. I love this Pussy Bow, which I took from the Sew Over It Pussy Bow blouse. I love the gathered peplum thing here, and I love this fabric. This fabric is a silk cotton mix that I got from the fabric store in New Zealand. I just love it. I haven't worn it a lot, to be very, very honest, because it's very oversized, and there's just the sleeve, the proportions are not quite right for the sleeve. I would prefer that the sleeve was a little bit longer, because when I'm wearing it, it sort of somehow gets a bit caught, that the sleeve rides up a bit. So it's a little bit dodgy in the sleeve area. So I do have more fabric. So one day when I'm rummaging through my scraps and I come across this fabric, I might actually take the sleeve off and put a different sleeve on. But anyway, that's a long, boring story. But I love this blouse. And so I love mashing patterns together. I would encourage you to think about doing that, as well as going through all the inspiration on Instagram grid. Just have a think about all the blouse patterns that you already have in your collection. If nothing that you've already got in your collection, sort of piques your interest, if it doesn't fill you with inspiration, maybe consider mashing a couple of those patterns together to see what you can come up with. Or you can always, as I say, have a look at the inspiration on the Instagram grid, and have a look at all the sewing pattern companies who are offering discounts. You may find your perfect pattern has got a discount code for it. So yay. So now I will tell you about my plans for my entry into this year's Sew April Blouse Challenge, into Sew April Blouse 2025. A few months ago, not that long ago, I bought a piece of fabric from Paper Scissors Cloth in New Zealand. This has a really gorgeous jacquard print on it. The colour is the most beautiful cobalt blue. The makeup of this fabric, actually I need to double check that and I will put it down below, but I feel like it's linen tencel blend or something like that. Paper Scissors Cloth in New Zealand pride themselves on their highly sustainable fabrics. So this has got some pretty high level credentials when it comes to sustainability. Consequently, their fabrics are on the pricier side. So I purchased this when they had a sale on. I had 20% off or something. I've got 2 meters of this, and I think this would make a really lovely blouse. It's got some fantastic drape. It's a nice weighty drape, if that makes sense. And this will look beautiful in a blouse. So my plan for this is it's another mashup, and I'm still working my way through how I'm actually going to put it all together. But I want to use this pussy bow again from Sew Over It, and excuse me, I would like to mesh it with my Cashmerette Alton blouse. So what I like about this Alton is the rounded keyhole neckline in the front. I've put these two together on my mannequin, which looks pretty crazy, I know, but hopefully it will help us envisage how this is going to look. So I love the open rounded keyhole neckline of the Alton, but I love this pussy bow on the Sew Over It pussy bow blouse. So I was thinking about putting this on the neckline of the Alton, and I'm not 100% sure how I would go about it. I think I might need to sort of take off some of that. See how it's shaped like that? I might need to sort of straighten that out a little bit. I don't want the pussy bow going all the way to the bottom of the V, if that makes sense. I would like to sort of stop it about here so that when the bow is done up, you can see skin through this part. So you can see it's a work in progress. I don't know how I'm going to go about it yet, but this is what I'm hoping to achieve in this fabric. I like the idea of these pleats on the sleeve, but because I don't know how it's going to turn out, obviously I need to toile it first. So I will do a toile, but then I will also do a practice run in this fabric. This is it feels like rayon. It could be cotton, maybe a blend. I've had this in my stash for the longest time. I really like it, but I won't be very upset if what I am mashing together doesn't turn out quite right. If it does turn out, I will love the blouse, I'm sure of it. And then once I've got the pattern perfected, then I'll make it in my gorgeous cobalt jacquard print. So what do you think? A bit mad. Sorry, I know this looks a bit mad, but they're my ideas. So hopefully that's given you something to think about. Hopefully you'll go through, rustle through your pattern selection and see what you've got available in the blouse pattern department. And if you haven't got exactly what you want, maybe you might consider mashing 2 of your patterns together, or if all that fails, you might like to partake of one of the discount codes that there's so many sewing pattern designers are offering for this challenge. So thanks so much for joining me today. If this was your first time, please come back and see me again. Please subscribe and like and do all that amazing stuff. And I look forward to seeing what everybody else comes up with for this challenge, please go ahead and have a look at the Instagram pages, all linked below. If this is your first time here, I hope you'll come back and see me again another day. Please take a look at one of these 2 videos that will pop up here. Hopefully something will be interesting to you and you will want to come back and see me again. And thanks for joining me. I'll see you another time. Bye for now.